Which former Alabama quarterback would you want repping your franchise, Mac, Tua, or Jalen?
Ooh, all three of them need time. There's no question about it. But I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has a unique ability at the quarterback position and where the quarterback position is in today's NFL moving forward. When you get into trouble, can I get myself out of it? I don't necessarily know in the National Football League, not in college football, that Mac Jones can get himself out of trouble, meaning when the passing shuts down, can I pull it down and go get me 10, get me 15 on a consistent basis? We see it. We see Patrick Mahomes. We see Lamar. We see these guys now that can do those sort of things, even to a degree Baker Mayfield. I don't know that Mac Jones can. In fact, a category came up or somebody said something about Mac Jones' ability in the pocket. They said during the draft process, he's very athletic in the pocket. What the hell does that mean? Athletic in the pocket? I've never heard that before. So they're trying to justify he can move around. He can't. Doesn't mean he won't be a good quarterback at some point in time for the New England Patriots. But no, I certainly would go with Jalen Hurts. Tua has a long ways to go as well. There's still question marks on whether or not he could be an NFL quarterback at the level that they're looking for him to be. And there's question marks on all three of these guys, rightfully so, because all of them are young. But I just think Jalen Hurts has some ability to get out of harm's way when he needs to.
I agonized over this between basically two guys, Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones, because I don't think Jalen Hurts gets enough credit for how talented of a quarterback that he is, and also having the unselfishness to take a step back when Tua became the golden boy for Alabama and beat him out of his spot. Then he goes to Oklahoma in that offense. Look how he dialed it up. To me, he should have been a first-round quarterback, but we know how those things can go sometimes, depending on what player personnel people need when it comes to the NFL. I'm going to choose Mac Jones slightly. I believe he's more athletic than people give him credit for. Although, Key, I'm with you. Athletic in the pocket, I don't know what the blazes that means either. Either you're athletic or you're not athletic, whether in the pocket, outside the pocket, that shouldn't matter. But I just think the kind of moxie that he possesses and the accuracy that he possesses and the personality that he has, and now he's with a football team that is going to allow him to be a little bit more of Mac Jones than they allowed Tom Brady to be in the 20 years he played the New England Patriots. I think we're going to see that Mac Jones. We won't see it this year. Unless Cam Newton completely spits the bit, and I don't think he's going to. We're not going to see Mac Jones being a starting quarterback until next year, so that time element is on his side. But once he gets into that lineup, I think he's going to be the next great quarterback in the National Football League. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a terrific quarterback in the National Football League. Mac Jones is in a better situation to do that than Jalen Hurts. But repping my team right now because of his personality and having that chip on his shoulder as well, like Jalen Hurts, it's tough for me, but it's a razor's thin edge. But I'm going to take Mac Jones. That I would want representing my team as a franchise quarterback more than the other two right now.
And there's nothing, look, with these guys, there's no wrong answer. There's no question about it. I just look at where the NFL is today. And I know that a lot of people think that the New England Patriots want to go back to this Tom Brady-style offense that they used to have back in the day, and that's why they selected Mac Jones at the quarterback spot. I get it. I understand it. I just think that when you get rid of a number 2 pick overall in Carson Wentz because you decided that Jalen Hurts is your future, that says something. That certainly says something. You didn't try to fix the issues and the problems with Carson Wentz. You moved on from him because you saw something in Jalen Hurts that he could continue to get better, much like you mentioned, leadership capabilities, patience as well, sitting behind a guy in terms of, first of all, a lot of people don't realize that he actually was the number 2 quarterback going into his freshman season when he had to sit until the second half of the USC game when they played him in Dallas his freshman year. So he had patience there. Then he gets benched for the national championship game. Then he decides he's not going to pout. He's going to sit around and be patient and wait, and they're going to eventually need him at some point in time. He comes back, he deals, they move on. And then he transfers to Oklahoma, and then he lights it on fire, takes time to figure out what Oklahoma's system is all about, becomes a second-round pick, goes to a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, starts sitting behind Carson Wentz, and then eventually takes over. Didn't have major success. I mean, how could you given the fact that you had no offensive weapons. The offensive line was decimated to a degree. And then coaching issues, all those sort of things. And yet and still, you still standing tall and potentially could be the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they may try to open up some sort of competition with the quarterback and Joe Flacco, and he'll probably hold him off, much like he has other quarterbacks in the past.
Key, it says a lot about Jalen Hurts that the Eagles chose him over a coach and a quarterback. They chose him over a coach that led them to a Super Bowl and a quarterback that before he tore his ACL was going to be the MVP in the league when it comes to Carson Wentz. That says a lot about Jalen Hurts from the standpoint that you're going to need that with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, he doesn't mind putting his face out there, being front and center, because he's been waiting for this opportunity, and he wants to show people that, yeah, it didn't end well at Alabama in terms of on the field, but look what I did at Oklahoma, and I'm going to make sure it's going to work here from that standpoint. Mac Jones, they're similar and dissimilar, meaning Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts, and that's because, as Jalen Hurts said, Mac Jones had to learn how to be patient. Who to learn better from than a guy in Jalen Hurts who really had to exhibit patience when his job was taken away and Tua Tagovailoa beat him out, fair and square. Summer camp did that, became the starting quarterback for Alabama. It could have been very easy for Jalen Hurts to say, forget this. You know what? Screw you guys. He didn't do that. He said, I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to be a better teammate than people can have anticipated. But when my time comes, I'm going to step into the fire and be ready to do that. And he did that at Oklahoma. That says a lot for Jalen Hurts that Philadelphia looked at him and said, we're going to bring in a new coach, but we're not keeping the old quarterback. Carson Wentz, you want to pout and sulk because things didn't go your way? Beat it. Get on out of here. We'd rather have a guy that we know is going to be all in with this football team than somebody who decided not to be all in because things were not in his favor. Don't think for 1 second Mac Jones did not learn a lot about that he's going to bring to the New England Patriots.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.